Hello friends. So let us talk about the messages. So kinds of messages we'll discuss today. So messages are the communication that are provided on the screen to the viewer of the screen. So several different types of messages they exist and they may be displayed in different forms and locations. So screen messages falls in two types. One is system information and other is instructional. So system messages which are generated by the system to keep the user informed by the system state and the activity. So they are customarily presented within the message boxes. They reflect the system state. So and that exists at the moment, and instructional messages sometimes referred to as prompting messages. They're messages that tell the user how to work it or complete the screen which is displayed. Now, system messages are several types and each reflecting a different purpose. They form platforms. They have the various platform and develop standard messages box with the standard components of the different types. So their message box elements include a standard icon and even if like operation complete. So it is an informational message from the Microsoft text box. Otherwise, that a warning like dial-up connection is not working, unable to find. So the critical message is also displayed. Now, some of the common messages are status messages. A status messages is used for providing information concerning the progress of a lengthy operation. It is usually contains a progress indicator and a short message describing a kind of operation being performed. Then informational message. The informational message, also known as notification messages, provide information about the state of the system when it is not immediately obvious to the user. They may confirm that non-obvious processing is taking place or it's completed. They may also be used to provide intermediate feedback. So in Microsoft Windows, I is in the balloon. Earlier Windows I'm talking about. No user action are usually necessary. Now there are warning messages. Sorry, warning messages call attention to a situation that may be undesirable. They are usually identified by exclamatory mark icon to the left of the message. The user that determine whether the situation is in fact a problem or may be asked to advise the system whether or not to proceed. So a deletion request by the user in the action that commonly generates a warning message. Then you have a critical message. Critical message, sometimes called an action messages, call attention to conditions that require a user action before the system can proceed ahead. A message describing an erroneous situation is usually presented as a critical message. Those the inconsistently currently exists in the icon used to designate this kind of message. Then you have a question message. Question message are another kind of message type sometimes seen. A question message asks a question and offers a choice of options for a selection. So it is designated by question mark. And this type may be used when there is a question to be asked and the message does not appear to be suited in a proceeding type. So before using a question message, remember that one platform uses the question mark. Now, messages that are too generic or poorly written frustrate users, increase support costs, and ultimately reflect poor for the quality of the product. Earlier, suppose if the user does not have sufficient disk to space to perform operation, there is a check disk available that you don't have a sufficient memory. Please make sure before installation ensure the amount of memory you needed. So like this, when you install your something on your mobile phone, then it appears some messages are given below. So you confront that either it is a informational message or it's a warning message or it's a critical message that depend upon you to take what the action what is needed. Then next is you have a writing message box. So you have a title bar message box, a writing message box text. So it's title bar message box. I will read one after the other. So I'll just explain you about the title bar text. I have written some of the points, but I'll explain you that clearly identify the source of message in the message title bar. This may be the name of this object to which it refers or the name of the application to which it refers. Now, a clear title is particularly important in the Windows multitasking environment because message box that appear might always be the result of current user attraction interaction. Sorry. So, in addition, because objects supported by different application can be embedded in the same document or different application code may be running. Then next you have a message box text. It provides a clearly and concise description of the condition causing the message box to be displayed in terminology the user understands. So use complete sentence with ending punctuation. State the problem, its probable cause if known, and what the user can do it about it, no matter how obvious the solution. So to help user comprehension, avoid contraction, technical jargon, and system-oriented information. Make messages as specific as possible. Only one message box regarding a condition in a single message. So avoiding two or more conditions in a single message. Sometimes it will be lead to a confusion that what steps to be needed. Now make the solution option offered in the message. For example, if an object such as string or text will not fit in provided the option to switch the larger boundary. Do not simply say the text will not fit. Avoid multi-step options or solutions. Sorry, people have difficulty remembering more than two or three simple steps after the message box closed. So, if multiple steps are necessary, provide general instruction or add a help button that displays a relevant help topic. Always present the steps in order they should be completed. Use the words please overuse will diminish its effectiveness. Consider use it the following situation. When the user is asked to wait while the program completes an action. So when the user is asked to retype information. When the user is inconvenienced in some other way. Do not exceed two or three lines of the text. So these are the above guidelines that help you to understand how your message box should behave on what type of message or what type of order. It should not follow any order, but a saying, a message should be delivered, and in the same way, the action should be taken. Next, you have a message box control, which includes your command button. Then you have close box, command button and close box, but you have a stop button before that, cancel button, help button. Okay, we'll see these command buttons one after the other. Of course, I need not explain you all this in detail because you know what are the functions of command button. Then you have a stop button. Stop means if you're installing something in the middle of uh, you thought no, I don't want the installation because it's taking the amount of memory you have is less, so you stop the installation. If you're not around, you pause the installation. So and help button if you need any help. Okay, we'll see one after the other. So first is command button. A user responds to a single message. A message box is usually accompanied to a command button, correct? So command button, like in Visual Basic, you know how the command button is made. So kind or kinds of command button is included depends upon the reason the message box is presented. Now, if a message requires no user choice to be made, only acknowledgement, then it's okay button. So it's okay or cancel, yes or no. Okay, it's allow or not allow. Now, if a message allow initiation of a user action to correct the situation described, includes a property label button initiating the corrective action. So if for example that a message indicates that the user must switch to other application, Windows take a corrective action. Then you have a stop button. Okay, if the message describes an interactive process whose state cannot be restored, provide a stop button. If a message offers an opportunity to cancel a process as well as to perform, not to perform action, it's a cancel button. Now, designate most frequent or less destructive command option as default. Because a message box disrupts the user current task, it is better to display a message box when the window of the application to which the message is referred. Now, next is the close box. Enable the title box, close box only if the message includes a cancel button. To leave it available to other situation, it can confuse the users. Okay, we finish here with the message box control. Next, we talk about your other topic.